Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review. This time we are reviewing Transformers: The Last Knight, number 5. And I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
We've seen all the movies, but this is the first time talking about a Transformers movie on this review.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the other 4 Transformers movies?
Here's what I gotta say. You know, back in the 80s, when you first watched the Transformer cartoons,
Yes.
you just loved it. You know,
Sure.
it was perfect.
Absolutely.
When I heard when they were doing the first movie, they were doing a live Transformers, I don't know, I was kind of happy that they were going to do something like that, but I was also kind of worried, because it's kind of hard to live up to the hype of something that famed back in the day.
You're worried because you want it to be good.
Well, that, and I understand CGI has evolved a lot in the last couple decades.
Yes.
You know, they know how to make it look good. Problem is, you gotta have a very good storyline. Even with the CGI looking good, if you don't have the right casting, you're doomed to fail.
Yeah, you are doomed no matter what if you can't get it right in certain aspects. And look, I don't like the first Transformers really, but if I'm gonna say it's the best one out of all of them, it is.
The sad part is it is.
It's the truth. The other ones, oh man. Woo! That is
even before
bad.
we get into the discussion about all the Transformer movies, I'd have to say hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 2 were pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I think, honest to God, this one was the worst.
This one was the worst. I mean,
don't knock the actors. You know, they have to work with what they had, but...
True. And just so everybody knows, we are gonna have spoilers, so you've been warned. But to be honest with you, does it really matter? Does it?
I mean, going back from the first one to this last one, I think they just find ways to make it look stupider and stupider and stupider, and the storylines just get worse and worse and worse.
Worse and worse. And I mean, I guess the place to start is really the plot, because at the end of the last movie,
Prime goes to look for...
Optimus Prime goes into outer space to look for the creator or creators, and
you don't know what to really expect from the creator of the Autobot or the Transformer race.
No, but at the end of part 4, isn't also like everything hunky-dory with everybody on Earth at that point?
I don't really guess, because the last one, the humans were hunting down they didn't really care which side they're on, just like in this film.
Yeah.
You know, they're hunting down both the good and the bad guy Transformers, which they continue on in this film. Oh, we don't really need them, but even when the bad guy Decepticons start causing all kinds of trouble, we'll have to use them for our own means.
Well, yeah, but also it's like now there's this task force which has been created to
take them all out.
Take them all out. Doesn't matter whether it's...
which side they're on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Good, bad.
They're the invaders. We take them out.
Yes. And so now you have Mark Wahlberg's character of Cade from the last movie.
It's had to have been at least a couple years since, at least 1 or 2 years minimal.
It had to have been. I mean, it really did, because it feels like the whole world has kind of almost went to shit.
It looks like, I mean, from the parts of the world that got attacked in the, what was it, the Dark Side of the Moon one?
In part 3, Chicago.
Yes.
Which is still...
basically, any parts that got really severely attacked by the Transformer War...
yeah.
It's completely cut off.
Yes.
And, spoiler, in the beginning of the film, you have these kids, oh, we're going to go find some dead Transformer parts that we could, you know, keep as trophies or something.
Yeah, we're just going to go here because we're kids and who gives a damn.
You know, you're under potential jail time for going in there, probably life imprisonment.
Life in
if
prison.
If you're lucky.
Yes. you know, you could be blacklisted for life, whatever. And they go into that whole area that got demolished in you know, part 3. And basically, the task force finds them, and
they probably still monitor those places just in case there are any leftover Transformers. And
yeah, they do monitor them, and also there's this girl that saves them.
Apparently, she's one of the survivors from the
Chicago incident,
which is kind of weird considering that was probably at least 5 or 6 years ago, movie wise.
That had to have been. And you're telling me, because in the movie she says, look, I didn't want to go into foster care. She lost her parents, and
somehow
she
struck up with some Transformer, which we see in the film.
And she's survived for all this time. I mean, I guess good for her, but like,
I mean, what did she do for food if that whole area is completely abandoned? I mean, I understand there probably some stores left, but how long did that stuff really last?
You know what? Rats are tasty. Rats. I mean, no, I feel bad saying it, but
other than the main Transformer that she has in the beginning, she's also got a little sidekick one which honestly looks like a really goofy looking Transformer out of any of the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, this one kind of looks like almost like
a little kitty Transformer that they created back in the day.
Almost like if Herbie the Love Bug was like, you know, like just like in miniature form, but all kind of messed up.
Yeah,
that's what it would be like.
It looked like Inspector Gadget's ugly-looking twin.
Yeah, it looked bad. And
I think they're just running out of ideas for how to create Transformers.
I think they are. And the other thing about it is that the whole thing, yeah, the story is what it is, but the continuity of this whole series, and it doesn't matter.
You don't really connect to that much to anything else other than the previous part of the plot from the previous movie.
That's it. And I mean, and still to this very film, there's still new Transformers that are just coming out of the sky.
Even the old human characters from the previous movies, they just like vanish without complete, like, which we were talking about before the movie began.
Like in this movie, for instance, when all hell is really breaking loose and crazy as it all is, if you really think about it, where is the Sam character from the first 3 movies? Where's
I took him out. Probably imprisoned him. Who knows?
Something like that. Where's he? And you know,
what happened to that? What's her name? Frances McDonald? Is that?
Oh, Frances McDormand. Yeah.
McDormand?
What happened to her?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many characters in this whole series that have literally gone to the wayside.
They all disappeared.
They never bring back.
I mean, there's only 2 that came back for this film, which I kind of thought was kind of weird. You figure at least. I mean, Turturro's character, which after the first movie, I don't think he was relevant for the whole series.
I don't, but he keeps coming back, and oddly enough, he keeps making jokes about like scrotums and people's balls. Like, what is this guy's?
He has an unhealthy obsession with it.
What is his obsession with it? Jesus, man,
it's just weird.
It really is.
I can understand his presence in the first film, but after that, I was like, oh, he's got this random knowledge of some kind of ancient Transformer.
It's always something, right? It's always something, and you notice in every film, it's like, well,
wasn't he paralyzed in one of the films or something?
I think he was.
And the third one? He was like completely paralyzed. You know, he's paralyzed from the waist down.
I don't know.
Somehow he's able to walk in this film.
They just completely, like, don't.
That and he's playing in Cuba with some Transformer dude that he knows.
Like some, you know, like Hispanic Transformer that
this movie just gets weirder.
It just gets really, really weird and really bizarre, and it just also, and talk about weird and bizarre. Let's talk a second about Anthony Hopkins in this movie.
Oh my god, this dude was all over the place.
Oh man, I have not
He's
seen
like
him.
flipping people off, saying "bitch," and that ride was cool. And I'm like, I was not expecting a lot I wasn't expecting a lot from him. I thought he was gonna be like some old dude of "this is your destiny."
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right?
This is the knowledge that will save the universe.
That would be the perfect Anthony Hopkins role.
He
but
was Looney Tune crazy in this film.
He was just off his rocker. And
there's a scene where he's talking to the president of, or what do they call it, the prime minister?
Oh yeah, the prime minister.
And he's just like telling him, "You shut up. You listen to me. You shut up." I'm like, if I were to do that to our president, my ass would be locked up in jail.
Exactly. He's talking about that. He's at one point, you know, this car comes in. He's like, oh, what's a bitchin' car? And
he's got the weirdest Transformers hanging out. He's got like this old tank who has robot dementia.
He is.
Which, come on. Where do they come up with designs for these Transformers?
He is robot dementia. Let's talk about the other
Cogman, that's what his name is. He's a 4-foot, like, butler-like Transformer, which was absolutely crap crazy.
This guy was ridiculous.
There was a scene where Anthony Hopkins' character is just talking to the main character of the relevance of what's happening.
Yeah.
This guy is like singing like opera thing behind him, or he's playing the organ, and the guy's just like, "I was just trying to make it more dramatic, sir." I'm like, it's like, Cogman, stop, or I'm gonna put you in a box and send you back to Cybertron. It's
like that, and he just goes off at these random moments.
Yeah, there's a part where Wahlberg's character is making like I won't say sexual advances toward the main female character.
Yeah.
But he was just like hitting like, "Oh, you're wearing a stripper dress," and the Cogman just goes ballistic, jumps on him, starts strangling him,
and beating him.
Crazy.
This Transformers.
Oh, he's not a psychopath. He's a
sociopath. This Transformer's nuts. Okay,
half of them are nuts in this film, but he's really nuts.
This is true. This is nuts.
That makes me wonder how long he's been there.
Exactly. Like how long has this friggin' dude been around? In fact, there was like scenes where like Cogman is walking the dog. If I'm the dog, I'd have ran away, man. I wouldn't have been near this dude.
Well, that, and there were ideas for Transformers when you make a cheap copy of Bumblebee as the French version and black, I think black, red, orange version of the type of car.
Oh yeah, there was that too, and I mean, and also I want to just bring up something too, which has really been a staple of all of these Transformers movies, is the whole over-sexualization of the female characters. I mean, it's been a Michael Bay thing in all the Transformers movies, and this one is no different.
I mean, I can understand the main female character. She's got to be very attractive, very smart.
I understand, but it's like overdoing it.
She's like, there's a scene, the line where he's like, "Oh, he's sexually," she's like saying, "Oh, you're sexually frustrated." It's like, "Am I distracting you? You want me to take my dress off?" I'm like,
geez, like that.
Can you be any more obvious than this?
Or even the like 14-year-old girl in it.
They're trying to make her look like she's 18, 19.
Exactly. They're really overdoing it with her, and I'm like thinking like, this is just really weird and really awkward.
They're trying to make her look like a young Megan Fox, basically.
Honestly, yeah, they were.
Out of all the actors, I think Wahlberg's character, and I forget what the other one's name, Vivian. I think
Vivian, yeah, the character of
Laura. What's that? Laura Hadid, or I forget what her last name is.
I don't know her last
name.
But
I mean, if you ever do see her in this film, reference why I just told him right after the film, she played Star-Lord's mother in the beginning scene of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I barely recognized her.
No.
Her character was cancer-ridden and bald and really pale.
Until you told me, I didn't know.
She was almost unrecognizable.
Well, I do say this. Look, I liked Wahlberg in the last movie. I still like him here.
I just felt like his role was like almost diminished to nothing.
To a certain degree. I mean, he's still in the film a lot, but it just...
I didn't get the whole medallion thing that they had going for him.
Well, it's
kind of weird. Here's
another thing about the whole continuity thing. So, basically, the main bad guy in this movie, I forget her name in this, she says that...
Call her Queen Transformer Bitch.
Queen Transformer Bitch. That basically, she says that the staff is the only way to bring the planet back. But that's not...
super mysterious power source that could save Cybertron.
But that's not true, because in the third film, there was a way to bring back the planet. So how was this supposed to be the only way?
First you had the thing with the cube.
You had the cube.
And then you had the thing with...
What's the other thing? You had
what was... You had the first prime that tried to...
Yeah, you had the first prime.
Then you had the thing in the third movie where they were trying to recreate Cybertron on Earth or something.
Yep, you had that.
Then you have in this one... apparently a magical staff that could reconstitute the ruins of Cybertron.
I mean, how many things have been left on Earth? I mean,
even in
I'm
the
serious.
film, like, oh, Earth is our ancient enemy, you know, it's like...
Well, even at the end of this film, Optimus ends up saying, well, there's even more secrets, you know, that the Earth holds. And I'm thinking, like...
Even the mid-credits scene before, she's like, oh, don't disturb. Apparently our alternate Earth name is Unicron or something.
Yeah, something like
she's
that.
She's like, oh, don't disturb him, or, you know... Basically, somehow she survives getting shot at point-blank range. I understand she's the creator of the Transformers, but being shot that close...
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, even the weirder stuff is like... They finally do manage to fix Bumblebee's communication issues. Well, not at first, but near the end.
Near the end. And it just happened, and he just talks for just like a brief sentence.
He gets like maybe a minute worth of talking time.
And that's it. And it's like, wait a minute, it's fixed and then it's not? Oh.
Well, it's like in the last film.
Okay.
The Transformers, Optimus pretty much given up on humanity. It's like...
Yeah.
Then in this one... Oh, I've been restored my faith, which he was only in the movie maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Optimus Prime, I would say 15, and that's being generous.
Yes. And you figure, since he's like even Megatron's character was cut down to like maybe 10, 20 minutes.
He didn't have a lot to do, and I will say this much. This is a 2.5 hour movie.
Yes.
This movie did not need to be 2.5 hours.
Just called it the Wahlberg and Bumblebee movie, because that's what basically it was.
Because that's what it is.
Same thing that happened when we did our Mummy review.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't need to be that long, and it just doesn't, it's just focused maybe on the wrong people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem with it. And the other problem, well, there's a couple more that I want to say.
100.
Yeah, no kidding. Is the jokes in this
are dull.
Do not work. In fact,
sexual jokes were really stupid.
Well, there's that joke, like, in the beginning of the movie, they're having this whole, like, battle scene back in the day. And I was kind of getting into it. I thought, okay, this is kind of a cool battle sequence. And then they cut to Merlin. And Merlin is like drinking booze, and he's like, he
tried to do his little convincing speech, like, well, I'll give up,
you know, booze and money and booze and money, and I'm like, this really doesn't fit. I'm like, the jokes in here, it's almost like they stop in the middle of a scene to make a joke and then get back to the scene. And I'm like, none of this works. It's completely useless. None of it works at all. And I just am like, my God, man, just try to make a straightforward movie for once. Please.
You know, they gotta put jokes in and try to make it look funny. I mean,
they gotta try to. And I'll tell you another thing I didn't like. The editing was choppy as shit. It just... The main issue is, like, a lot of times you won't know where certain characters are in a scene, or you won't know where the action is going, and then suddenly somebody pops up and you're like, how did they get there? Weren't they like not in that scene a minute ago and then suddenly
teleported
or something? Like, it's just, the editing is really weird. And well, but that's been that way for the rest of the Transformers movies.
There's some unanswered questions. Like, in the beginning, Wahlberg's character gets the little mystical amulet.
Yes.
He gets it from a dead or dying knight.
Yeah.
Where did this knight come from?
Where did this... Because this knight is almost like he's trapped in, like, this little thing. Was he there in the Battle of Chicago in Part 3?
I mean, unless he was heading on the moon when they were all starting to come down, who knows? I mean...
I have no idea. Like,
I figured all the knights would be on that last ship, before, protecting the staff.
Yes, and that's the one thing that really is like, where did this Transformer come from?
Yeah.
There's no explanation of it, and it's just, there's a lot of no explanations.
Well, that and the whole thing with the main super powerful staff, if it can only be accessed by Marlon's bloodline.
Yeah.
How are the Transformers going to use it? I mean, unless it's the Transformer thing too, even if they are going to bring back Cybertron with it, are they going to have to move the planet or what? I mean, the planet pretty much caused quite a lot of destruction just getting to where it is.
A huge amount of destruction. Basically, the moon is pretty much destroyed.
Yeah.
And now, with it hanging where it is, it's pretty much in our atmosphere, and basically... Unless
they can reconstitute the moon, I don't know how they plan on doing it.
I have no idea. I absolutely have no clue. And, I don't know, for me, it's like this series, at this point...
being a dead horse, basically.
Yeah, it's like being a dead horse a million times over, and, I mean, look, this is the 5th film in the franchise.
You hope it's the last.
Well, it certainly isn't, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I heard that they're trying to do the Bumblebee spinoff.
Yeah, they're going to do a Bumblebee spinoff, and look, this movie's going to make money. They're going to make a number 6. But the thing about it is that it almost doesn't matter what we say if...
They're just going to do it if they can make money.
If you guys and gals out there like the movie and the series, you're just going to watch it. If you don't, no one's going to convince you otherwise. In the 5th film in the franchise, you either like it or you hate it. That's it. And
the series been going downhill for me since the first one.
And it just, I mean, they get these big name actors in all these movies.
That's what they do.
And they don't do crap.
They think a big budget actor is going to save a movie,
And a lot of times
it doesn't. Wrong lately.
It's been proven wrong. Look, we talked about it in the Mummy review, which if you guys haven't
even before
done,
we got
check
to the movie, we were chatting about it. They're blaming Tom Cruise for the failure of the Mummy.
Yeah, they're blaming Tom Cruise for the failure of the Mummy, and basically, I know that Mark Wahlberg during the promotion so far of this movie,
because he's done after this one,
he looks like he doesn't care. And he said that he is out after this one. But I just don't see how he can be out.
I don't know what else they can do more for. I mean, there's a mid-credit scene at the end, which tells you the main bad bitch is still alive, and she wants to continue to try to destroy the Earth.
Sure.
I mean, how many more villains? I mean, that and you don't even see Megatron get destroyed. You see his arm get ripped off. And
that's it.
Going out of an airlock.
So he's basically still in play.
Which another continuity error from the last film.
Yeah.
Didn't he have that, like, morphing, unkillable Transformer body from the last movie?
Yeah. And they did nothing with that here. Nothing.
Another case in point. In the beginning with Bumblebee, you see him get shot to hell and, like, literally blown apart. Somehow he's able to reconstitute his whole body into one giant being, like in the damn movie The Iron Giant.
When did that happen?
Remember when he's trying to go save Kate, he gets blown,
No, I mean, I know when it happened, but when did that happen where he got the stuff where... Yeah, I mean,
Unless they're able to learn from the Transformers in the last movie or something. I don't know how they're able to do any of this
Exactly,
stuff.
and now there's all...
If that's true, we can bring back all the dead comrades and stuff.
Sure, and also now there's, like, baby, like...
little miniature versions of the other ones. I'm like, what are they, like, reproducing when nobody notices?
I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Laid a giant egg.
I will say this much. Michael Bay, who has directed all these movies...
Didn't he say he was done with this series, too?
He says he's done. He wants to move on. But here's the thing. When Part 3 came out, he said, I did my trilogy, and they're going to go on and do Part 4, but I'm not going to be a part of it. Well, guess what? They came to his house, gave him a huge bag of money, and he was like, well, you know what? There was a good ideas here, so, you know, whatever.
This giant garbage bag with a dollar sign on it.
Absolutely. Then, when the 4th film is coming out, he said, well, I wanted to start the new chapter of the trilogy, the new trilogy, and other people can go off and direct it. Well, guess what? They backed up a huge truck of money and ended up...
All he heard was cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, absolutely. So then he says, well, they came up with great ideas for Part 5, and so I'm back again. And now here he says he's not going to do it. I call complete bull on this.
They better offer him another figure on that 6 figures that he's got.
Paramount is going to literally have a huge plane go overhead and literally drop huge bags of money right by his door, and he's gonna make up some damn excuse.
Is it sleet out there? No, it's giant balls of stuff. Giant balls of money.
Giant balls of money, and he's gonna be like, well, I decided to come back because, you know, there's a good story to tell.
Yeah,
baloney.
I can do one final film, you know, before we complete the series. Oh, wait. We have potential to do a prequel series on this. You know, that's another 10, 20 films.
Another thing, and it's like, you know what? Unfortunately, look, a 6th film is pretty much guaranteed at this point. The Bumblebee spinoff is guaranteed. It's...
You lead up to at least another potential, maybe 3 different types of films. Another films after this, prequel films, you name it. Who knows? We could show a Autobot, Decepticon, go back to the old school one where they showed the Transformers that were dinosaurs and shit.
I mean, you know, if they want ideas, you could go back to when Optimus Prime and
Bumblebee
and all those.
Even when fucking Megatron before he turned.
Yeah, Megatron, all those people, right where they're small little tykes. And they're running around, you know, and they're
training school.
Autobot training school, and they're like, you know, rock'em sock'em robots or some bull. It's
a sad part is they probably say that's racist.
Yeah, exactly. Some baloney. It's I will say this. Look, I mean, people get enjoyment out of the movies. Give people credit for it.
I didn't feel no enjoyment in this film. I felt boredom.
A lot of it, to me, it just really felt dull. I didn't feel excitement by anything.
I think a lot of action, hot chicks, you know, some goofy, funny lines will make a movie.
And it won't.
Wrong.
They're wrong, and it won't. And
the only ones that can work with that are Marvel, and Marvel's just blowing out bombs.
Sure. And so for me, I mean, look, like I said, people are going to go see it because it's an event movie. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's a new Transformers. Let's go see it. At the end of the day, I would say skip it. I would say
maybe if you're bored and it's on Netflix or something, watch it.
If you're bored and it's on the TNT channel, and
if they're doing a marathon,
you're just clicking, and if you're on the shitter and just clicking, and you're just like, well, geez, okay, and
you need something for your constipation, then you can watch it.
Then you can watch it. But to be honest with you, I
felt like a lot of these actors just need the money.
Because look, Wahlberg, I don't know if Wahlberg needs the money, but hey,
no, not him, but more like Josh Duhamel.
Oh man, that guy! Talk about beating a dead horse.
He's been in what?
He's been in all of them, right?
I don't even remember.
I think he's been in all of them.
No, he wasn't in the last one.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I know he was in the first 2 and the third one.
Because I think he's been in all of them. I think so, but I'll tell you something. I thought we would have seen Tyrese. I was
not
shocked.
Surprised because they go pair and pair.
But you know what? Tyrese probably told them to go screw themselves, because he's like, you know what? I'm in the Fast and the Furious franchise, and we're making way more money, and we're making way better movies.
Don't worry, Dominic Toretto will show how to Transformer really how to ride or die.
They're gonna probably get into a fist fight eventually with the Fast and the Furious crew. I mean, I can see it. It's just
there's some series that should just not go on this long, and Transformers is one of them. They should have stopped after like maybe the second or third one.
I mean, at this point, I say, hey, just try a reboot. It ain't gonna hurt it.
I mean, they're rebooting everything nowadays. I mean,
might as well do Transformers also, and the whole like the last night thing. Bull crap.
Apparently Wahlberg's character is the last night. You figured it'd be somebody like Optimus or Bumblebee.
Yeah, not.
Which another bullshit when they're about to kill Optimus the Knights. Yeah. Apparently he whips out a magic sword from this cybernetic amulet thing. Comes a fucking sword, and he able to hold his own against a Transformer. These guys got superhuman strength compared to... They could flip cars around like they're Tonka toys.
Yeah, and he literally was like... Yeah. And it's like...
David versus Goliath.
Goliath. I'm like... Get the hell out of here, man. So...
I mean, this movie, if I had to give it a grade rating, I'd have to say...
What's your grade rating?
Should I be cruel?
Be honest.
I'd have to say... There's like almost nothing I liked about this film.
Yeah.
I'd have to go... Yeah. This would probably be, out of all the reviews, probably the first time ever you hear this out of my mouth. I'd have to give it an F. You're
giving it a straight. You're not even giving it any points for anything.
No, this movie was just... They think, oh, we have a hot librarian chick. I mean, you know, she's just like... She's like an educated version of Michaela from the first one. You know?
Yeah, that's true. You are right.
And Wahlberg's character is like a more successful, heroic version of what Sam Witwick's character would have done if he actually wasn't such a screw-up and goof-off.
Sure, you are right. You know what, for me, I'm going to give it probably a D-.
Oh, we're not that far off.
D- seems about right. And the reason why I'm giving it a D-, I would say, is because, to be honest with you, I still like Wahlberg in his role. I thought, even though Cogman was a real weirdo,
that shit crazy,
he was kind of one of the characters that kind of saved the movie a little bit.
And probably would give him and Hopkins' characters spin off.
And I'm not gonna lie, Anthony Hopkins, even though how bizarre it was almost
probably more enjoyable than the rest of the
film. He was enjoyable. So you know what? I'll give it a D-. That's our review. You wanna talk about one more thing? Okay.
One thing that really irked me before this movie started.
Yeah. So we were watching the previews, and the previews for Dunkirk come up, but
4 times.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
4 times.
4 times, making this, like, it was almost like little, like 30-second or minute spots.
Yeah.
That was continual.
Like every other trailer.
Every other trailer had a Dunkirk, like, little spot, and it was kind of annoying. Really annoying.
If they want to push me off a movie, this would be it.
You know, I'm fine with...
I mean, you could do that with certain movies. Any Marvel movie, I wouldn't mind it.
Sure. But if you're, like...
If it's Star Wars, I'll watch it.
But if you're seeing, like these 30-second spots, every other trailer, it's like... At a certain point, you're like... I think it's time for the Dunkirk trailer.
I didn't think our trailers were ever going to end. Because every time we turn around, it was a regular trailer, then Dunkirk. Regular trailer, Dunkirk. I'm like...
Yeah,
are we going to actually get to the movie? The movie's 2.5 hours long, almost 2.5 hours long, and that's not counting an end credit scene.
It's bad. So hopefully you guys don't experience the same Dunkirk problem that we had. But anyway, guys,
they're trying to hypnotize us in that.
I know. So that's our review of Transformers: The Last Night. Go. Damn.
Or like what Anthony Hopkins does in the movie.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back again for another movie review.
Next one will be...
Well, we don't know. Well, we don't know. It's always...
Most likely, it will probably be the Spider-Man one.
Oh, it'll be... There will be many before that. So, all right, guys. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.